put gamification to work for you, Monica Cornetti.
Raise your hand if you really don't know what gamification is. That's all right. We're going to learn this afternoon, and the best way to learn is by doing, but let me just give you a little setup on it before we get started. My area of specialties is low-tech gamification for specifically training and development. So I work with human resource training and development and design and deliver curriculum low-tech. And the reason is, and I know that we've all been there, where we're really looking forward to going to a training to learn something. There's some information there that you really need. Has that happened? You were really wanting to get something from the session, but then about 20 minutes into it, you started having some different thoughts. And the thoughts went something like, oh my God, how is this relevant? He's talking me into a coma. This doesn't make sense. What a waste of time. Stick a pencil in my eye. Oh my God, kill me now. Been there, right? And the reason is because when you see someone who is a professional speaker or trainer, just like a professional ballet dancer, we get the thought, well, I know the subject, so I can go up there and present. I'm a SME, I'm a subject matter expert. We've all done that. Believe me, the first time that I ever did a presentation, I had people counting ceiling tiles, falling asleep in the back. I mean, I knew the stuff, but I wasn't connecting with them. And that's why gamification for me has been such a passion, because you really can level up your training and development. And there's simple ways to do it. You're looking at adding technology. Some of you have seen, as counselors, you've seen some great ideas. I'm sure they've crossed your desk every day, right? People come in with the next greatest thing. They want to get a patent. I remember seeing some really unique ones when I worked at, really unique because we can't say that. I remember seeing some unique ones when I worked at Collin County. They're the idea of a motorized ice cream cone. So you just put the ice cream cone, the ice cream on the ice cream cone, and turn it on. And I guess you just stand there like this then.
No exercise?
The man who turned in the patent, his reasoning was little children's tongues get tired holding the ice cream cone. So let's help them out. We want to help them out by making it motorized. Well, you got the patent, you made the ice cream cone. Just because you can't, I mean, you should. I mean, come on. They can't even have, they don't have the muscle strength to lick an ice cream cone? Goodness gracious. But, okay, they're little kids. We'll give them a break. Little kids, we'll give them a break.
What if we're gaming?
Yeah, right. We can't do it all at once. That's a good idea. And then you have other ideas. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. I love this one. This one's a farting alarm clock. Who would think this is a good idea? Who would want this? Well, you know, you gotta stick your credit card and buy it. So you set your alarm, and when it goes off in the morning, it barks at you. Why? Why? Why would you want that? There's probably enough that going on already. I think it just does sound, I think. Here's the thing. When you look at just because you can doesn't mean you should. When we're talking about gamification, if we haven't done gamification yet, there are startling realities to really come face to face with. Just like any change management, your gamification project has an 80% chance of failure. No different than any other kind of change that any organization tries to implement out there. 80% of them do not reach the desired outcomes they're looking for. Plus, you're looking at piling a huge pile of cash on top of that. I just wouldn't want to be the person who took the idea of spending $200,000 on a program to the CFO or the CEO with knowing that it's an 80% failure rate. It doesn't seem like something I would be willing to suggest that. Instead, my proposal is that when we're looking at gamification, a lot of people, when they start learning about it, they're like the little kids that are pressed up against the candy store window, just looking at the confections and the sugar in there, almost drooling. But unless we can talk CEO talk or CFO speak and be able to show real measurable return on investment, then we don't even want to go there. With an 80% failure rate, we don't want to talk about adding the gamification unless we know how to implement it, because then it really is just game over. So here's my theory, is that we start small. We start with the training program we already know. We start with something that we're familiar with. We learn about gamification. How do you apply the mechanics? How does that work? You start with a class, a training program that's maybe an hour or two in length, and you test it out. Once you do that well, you start getting them hooked and coming back for more. See, I think low-tech gamification should be like your gateway. It's a business model that works. You can't mock it. You can't. Get them hooked on something simple. Don't get them hooked on the hardcore stuff, or don't try and sell them on the hardcore stuff to begin with, because you don't know that it's going to work. It costs a lot of money. It's going to have an 80% failure rate. Low-tech gamification, like I'm going to teach you this afternoon, costs you virtually nothing, because we're going to do it on a training class that's already been developed. So your training hours are already invested. What we're going to look now is some gamification hours added to it, but this is where it's really fun.